Today on my channel, Planner Friends, I am going to do a flip through of January and December in my A5 Faith Planner, so stay tuned. Hello Planner Friends and welcome to my channel. I'm One Crafty Dolo and it's great to have you here today with me. Today I'm just going to do a flip through of December and January in my Faith Planner, which is an A5 binder from Carpe Diem. This, if you're new here, this is new. This is the study I've been using since after Easter in 2022. So I am getting there, as you can see. So let's dive in, shall we? If you're new, you're welcome to subscribe and tap the notification bell and all that good stuff. Okay, so first off, a lot of times I decorate this binder and I put the videos on YouTube as I'm decorating and creating and so forth. This month I did something different. I'm showing you more of my second Faith Planner, which is a prayerful planner, and how I'm decorating that. And I just went ahead and did my study in this. Now, you'll notice it's still decorated for Advent, and I did that purposely. I really loved the setup, and because I did my 12 days of Christmas, I did this little separate study, if you will. So it was like an additional, and I set up the 12 days of Christmas. I went through different sites and different interpretations, and this is what I actually came up with. And yeah, I kind of love it a lot. So I wanted to keep this binder. I wanted to keep it going, as it were. So even though we're well past Epiphany, this is what I decided to do. So I kept it as it were. I did add in these brand new inserts I picked up from Carpe Diem. This is their A5 seasons, I think, something like that. Although I don't use the monthly calendar. And then I've got, here we go. So this is January, but let's start with December, shall we? Which I was still using the Bloom inserts, which are really quite lovely. And so yeah, let's talk about what I was studying and how it went. So it started on December 5th, and we started with Matthew 19:26. Jesus looked at them and said, with man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. And I love the Gospel of Matthew. My second Faith Planner, I'm doing a study of the Sermon on the Mount. So that, of course, this verse, always, anything from Matthew always resonates with me. And then we have Hebrews. During the days of Jesus' life on earth, he offered up prayers and petitions with fervent cries and tears to the one who could save him from death. And he was heard because of his reverent submission. Now, let me pause here. This study, I did not do an Advent Bible study in this one. I did it in the other one, and I can link that video below if you'd like. So yeah, I can link that below. And a lot of this is about being steadfast in your faith and submitting to your faith, and to know that how many times have we seen how God's plans mean we can plan all we want, but his will is what really matters, as it were. Then the next week, I don't know why, I love how this decoration turned out the most. I used my love stamps, as you can see, and using the different shades of green on here. And you'll see I tried to stick with pretty much these colors throughout Advent. But I really love these pages. I love how they came out. The stamping was pretty much on the money, which isn't always true, right? So the next week, the week of the 12th, we have Psalm 37:4. Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. And so he knows us. He knows our hearts, our souls, our dreams, our hopes. And in our prayers, we have to realize, because he created us, he knows the things, direction, pathways that serve best. I know that some people always talk about ask, believe, receive. I think that's wrong. I actually think it's more of ask, believe, accept. I think that's the key right there. And then receive, because your answer, your vision of your answer and his visions are often quite different. So you have to accept the answers that you receive, right? And then we have Mark here. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received, believe that you have received, and it will be yours. But again, the answers don't always match up with what we believe or want. So I think that's my little addendum to the ask, believe, receive. No, you need to stick accept in there. This is a really deep green that I used. It's from scrapbook.com. Definitely intense. It's called Mermaid. So that's this ink here. And again, I tried to stay within the same color frames. Here we have Isaiah 40:31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. So I assume the hymn on eagle's wings comes from that passage. It's a really wonderful passage about finding your strength and fortitude through prayer and through God. And then we have Luke 18:1. Then Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them they should always pray and not give up. And staying in faith, staying steadfast. That's definitely a big part of this study. And this has really been a wonderful study. I think you can find it on Amazon. I'm not sure, but wonderful study if you're interested. And then the final week in December, and again, I stuck with these colors. You can see I use different shades of green, and then I'm using this cranberry. Is from the first passage is Hebrews 4:16. Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence so that we may reap mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. And wonderful, wonderful passage. So come to God and know He'll, with confidence doesn't mean about you, it means confidence in Him. And Hebrews is a book that I gravitate towards quite often, actually. That and Romans as well. John 1:19, if we confess our sins, He is faithful and just and will forgive us our sins, purify us from all unrighteousness. So that was December in this planner, and I really love how it turned out. Yeah, I'm still all about that layout. And then we went into January. Now, I finished early in January because I just got caught up in what I was doing in here. And you'll notice a switch. In January, I went with softer pastels, and that's been the color palette, incidentally, in all of my planners this month, pretty much. This is my personal planner, and you can see very soft, wintry pastels is what I've been focused on. Okay, so we begin with a passage for the new year from John 3:18. Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. And I'd like to just put that up everywhere to remind you, people can say one thing and they do another, and how you submit and how you show love isn't just through talk. In fact, actions, and whether it's love of God, love of one another. Then the second one is Psalm 141:2. May my prayer be set before you like incense. May the lifting up of my hands be like the evening sacrifice, and about how much prayer needs to be part of our lives. And yeah. Okay. And the next week, the week of the 9th, 1 Corinthians 10:13. No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. Boom. I feel like that's a mic drop verse right about. And it continues with a verse from Matthew 26:41. Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, and how we need to rely on God and rely on Jesus to avoid the temptations that the world sets before us. I also like this layout too, incidentally, and I don't know, is it something about this particular stamp? I don't know. And you'll notice this month too, I added some sparkly washi in here to kind of add to it. I really like how that turned out. This verse is Romans 8:28, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. And this I really dug into this verse because I think that we have multiple purposes in this world. It's your family, it's who you are, it's what you do, it's the good that you're putting into the world. And this is a good one, particularly for anybody, I think, who is not sure what to do and where to go and how to put their purpose or purposes into action, because we do have multiple purposes, I believe, in his name. So yeah, that I think if you're struggling with what to do next, really ruminate on this verse, I would suggest. Matthew 21:22, if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. Again, but you have to accept the answer. I think that's the key right there. And then we have Lamentations 3:22-23, because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. There's not a lot of Lamentations in this study, so I thought that was a good one to put in there. And then Mark 1:35, very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up and left the house and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. And this has appeared in different passages throughout this study. The idea of praying in solitude, praying earnestly, not letting the world in to see it. So yeah. Okay, friends, that is I know I finished it early, but I was so caught up in it. I really enjoyed doing this study this month as well. So again, this is my January, and it's pretty simple. I did use pretty much the same colors all month, as you can see in this layout, with some brighter variations. And then in December, as you saw, I really stuck with this kind of cranberry and the different shades of green. So I wanted to show you, I usually show you the process of decorating, but this month I wanted to show you what I did, and so you could see how I set it up. And honestly, going into February, I am probably going to redo the entire binder, so I will do a video on that. So that's it for today, planner friends. Thank you so much for being with me. I should say faith planner friends. Thank you for taking the time and spending it with me. I hope you have a blessed week. Bye, friends.